I love fishing in most games. Honestly, if given the choice between fishing in a game and doing anything else, I would choose to fish. And that's why today we're going to find out if I can beat... I wanted to find out if it's possible to beat Pokémon Emerald using only fishing. No grass encounters, no gift Pokémon, no free handouts. If it didn't come out the water, I can't use it. And, because I clearly enjoy suffering, I'm not using any HM mules. If I ever reach a point where I need an HM and none of my fish can learn it, the run is over. On top of that, no items in battle. Though, I made a small exception early on, just until Magikarp evolves. Because let's be honest, it's Magikarp, and it needs all the help it can get. Honestly, I didn't even think this challenge was possible until I saw this video, where he beat Emerald with only a Magikarp. He used potions tactically to survive long enough to hit level 15, where you finally learn Tackle. So I figured, if one fish can do it, surely a whole fishing team can. This is Pokémon Emerald, fishing only. Let's see how far we get before the sea swallows us whole. Our journey begins in Little Root Town, where instead of picking a normal starter like Mudkip, I use the Universal Pokémon Randomizer to replace it with Magikarp, which means my entire moveset right now is Splash. It does absolutely nothing. Great start. So, my only path forward was the world's slowest grind, attacking Ralts and Zigzagoon until I ran out of Splash PP. Then, using Struggle to slowly chip them down. Every time Magikarp's HP dropped too low, I use a potion and keep going. This wasn't just a battle, it was a test of patience, endurance, and my ability to justify this as entertainment. After hours of watching my fish slam into things, we finally hit level 15, and that meant one thing. We finally learned Tackle. Tackle itself isn't an especially powerful move, but it does let us freely use the Poké Centers without having to reset. A few more levels, and we'll reach 20, and we'll finally evolve into Gyarados. And just like that, our splashy nightmare became a sea dragon of destruction. Roxanne, the first gym leader, was our first real test, or at least it should have been. Gyarados, a bit overleveled and with access to Bite, made short work of her team. One gym down, 0 Pokemon caught. So far, the fishing-only dream is swimming along. After that, we sailed to Dewford, home of the Old Rod, the first place I can finally fish. My second catch, Tentacool, a jellyfish with little utility. It had Poison Sting and Supersonic, but at least it made me feel less alone. Together, we cleared out Granite Cave, delivered Steven's letter, and prepared for the second gym, Brawly. Fighting types aren't especially great for either of my Pokemon right now, but between a few lucky poisons and a crit here or there, we pulled through. 2 badges down, and now this challenge is really starting to feel doable. From Dewford, I sailed to Slateport and turned in the Devon goods to Captain Stern. Team Aqua tried to get in the way, but let's be real, they brought Poochyena to a Gyarados fight. After that, it was north to Mauville. Along the way, I fought Wally for access to the gym. He brought his Ralts, but I literally have a sea monster. It went about how you'd expect. Mauville is home to Watson, an electric-type specialist, and the biggest early wall of any water-type run. Half of my team is weak to electric moves, and the other half, also weak to electric. So yeah, this could end horribly. I caught Goldeen to give the team a little more variety, and then started grinding. Gyarados, Tentacool, and Goldeen. My brave, conductive trio. After a bit of prep, it's finally time to face the first real threat of this entire challenge. Heading into Watson, I didn't have high hopes. My entire team was made of water types, and well, he's the electric gym leader. Not exactly a winning matchup. I went in expecting to get fried, but somehow, through a mix of lucky swaps and landing a few Dragon Rages, even through paralysis, we pulled it off. I don't know how, but we did. 3 badges down. With Watson down, the run finally had momentum. I fought my way through Meteor Falls, made a quick stop back at the Devon President's office, and grabbed the EXP share, a huge help for keeping my whole team leveled. From there, I climbed Mount Chimney to stop Team Magma's latest volcano equals good idea plan. Maxie's sand attack spam was annoying, but his ace Camerupt didn't stand a chance against Jellyarm's Bubble Beam. Sometimes, water really does beat fire. Next up, Lava Ridge and the Fire-type gym. Right before the battle, Tentacool evolved into Tentacool, and suddenly, Jellyarms went from soggy nuisance to lava-proof menace. Flannery didn't stand a chance. 4 badges down, and we're finally heading home. Time to face my dad, Norman. His slacking hits like a truck, but Dragon Rage still does solid damage at this point. It took a few turns, but we managed to beat him, earning badge number 5, and more importantly, access to the single most powerful HM in this entire run, Surf. We made sure to clear every trainer in his gym for good measure, then we set out to see what Hoenn Oceans had to offer. East of Mauville, we picked up the Good Rod. Finally, some higher quality fishing. We backtracked to Route 114 and caught a Barboach, whose ground typing gave us the electric immunity we desperately needed. We also snagged a Carvanha, who quickly became one of the hardest hitters on the team. Once Carvanha evolved into Sharpedo, we had the perfect combo. Gyarados and Sharpedo, the dynamic duo of sea-based destruction. On the way to the Weather Institute, Sharpedo cleaned house against Team Aqua. Surf was carrying hard until disaster struck. They forcefully gave me a cast form, which means, technically, the run is no longer fishing only. I didn't even want it, but alas, the dream was dead. Still, we press on. We've come too far for balls that like to dance in the rain to end everything. Afterwards, May tried to challenge me, but with a fully aquatic artillery squad, we swept her easily and move on to Fortree. After helping Steven deal with some invisible wizards, we challenged Winona, the flying-type gym leader. Not the best matchup for fish, but we made it work. Sharpedo's Crunch did big damage before going down, and Gyarados finished the rest through sheer, pure force of will. 6 badges down, still swimming. We climbed Mount Pyre and watched Team Aqua steal one of the orbs right after Team Magma took the other. Of course, we were too late. story of every protagonist's life. Grandma Pyre gave us the magma emblem, so we stormed their base next. Honestly, Jelly Arms and Spot wiped them out. Just surf spam everywhere. Even Groudon couldn't be bothered. He fled the scene before we could do anything. Maxie tried to put up a fight again, but come on, he's a fire guy. Wear water. It wasn't even close. With our Barboach evolved into Wishcash, the Deep, tearing through anything that the other two couldn't handle. Catfish be like that. From here, we cruised through Lily Cove, raided the department store, and dove straight into the Aqua Hideout. Earthquake and Surf tore through everything. We were too late to stop them from escaping in their submarine though, so of course, we'd have to give chase. On the bright side, we found a shard trader nearby. He'd end up being surprisingly important later. We reached Moss Deep and took on Tate and Liza, the Psychic-type twins. Double battles are always a headache, but after a few tries, we pulled it off. Their Solrock and Lunatone hit hard, but they couldn't handle the ocean's fury forever. After that, Steven dragged me into a Team Magma fight over stolen rocket fuel. Let's just say, he didn't contribute much. At least he gave us Dive, another powerful move, and the key to tracking down Team Aqua's sub. With the Psychic Twins defeated, it was time to dive deeper, literally. We made our way to Sutopolis, but the gym was closed. Apparently, the world was ending or something, so we had to take a detour. I tracked the stolen submarine to Team Aqua's underwater base, where Archie decided it was a good idea to wake up Kyogre using the red orb. Predictably, that didn't go well. Kyogre escaped immediately, because I guess ancient Pokemon just don't like being micromanaged. Archie challenged me right after, and I was a little underleveled. But, between Jelly Arm's special defense, the Deep's bulk, and some lucky hits, we pulled through. Barely. One more win for the Anglers. After the battle, Maxie showed up, and both of them had a sudden realization that maybe awakening world-ending monsters wasn't a great idea. Who could have guessed? I followed them back to Sutopolis, where Groudon and Kyogre were locked in an actual god fight. Steven led me to the Cave of Origin, where Wallace, who's apparently also the champion, told me to go wake Rayquaza at the Sky Pillar. So I did, and when I came back, Rayquaza literally descended from the heavens and told the other two to knock it off. Probably the most biblical thing that's ever happened in Pokemon. With the apocalypse sorted, we could finally challenge Sutopolis Gym. Except Juan's team was way above our level, so back to the grind. First stop, Moss Deep, to grab the Super Rod. With that, I caught a Wailmer, which I had no idea would end up being one of the most important members of the team. Then, we backtracked to Lily Cove for Staryu, which would give us great coverage once evolved. Of course, as a true fisherman, we couldn't resist catching everything, so we picked up a Love Disc and a Corsola. We didn't use them, but hey, it wouldn't be a fishing-only run if we didn't fill the cooler. Once we felt ready, we went back to Juan's gym, and immediately got slapped around. His team is strong, and he loves using Double Team. The first few attempts ended in disaster, but eventually, we got a low roll on Earthquake with the Deep, which gave Gyarados the opening to finish the job. No potions, no cheese, just raw, fishy perseverance. 8 badges down, we're finally ready for Victory Road. We surfed and climbed our way through Victory Road, defeated Wally for the final time, and spent a while grinding. Our team was in the low 40s, and the Elite Four were pushing level 50, but we'd made it this far. Before the final push, we made one last trip to the Shard Trader, and traded a blue shard for a water stone. Finally, Staryu could evolve into Starmie. The last member of our fishing squad was complete. It was just one problem. We don't have a single flying type, so we walked. Because nothing says fishing only, hoofing it across the entire continent just to evolve a starfish. Next stop, Pokemon League. Before taking on the Elite Four, I spent some time getting the team ready, and by some time, I mean an entire solo grind session. I backtracked to the abandoned ship to grab Ice Beam for Starmie, perfect for handling all the late game dragons. While I was at it, I cleared out New Maulville Power Plant for Thunderbolt, because if Starmie's gonna carry, it might as well do it in style. I even climbed the Sky Pillar again just to knock out Rayquaza. Not because I had to, but because I knew it would stir up some drama. Why did you kill Rayquaza? Because I could. Tentacruel picked up Toxic and Protect in case we need to stall something nasty, and our Wailmer finally hit the gym enough to evolve into Wailord. After a whole lot of grinding, most of the team was sitting around level 50, finally ready to take on the Elite Four. This was it, the last cast of the line. After all the grinding, all the fishing, and all the jellyfish-based trauma, it's finally time to face the Pokemon League. The team, all around level 50, was ready to go. And honestly, we walked through the Elite Four like it was a calm day at sea. Sydney went down to raw power, Phoebe couldn't handle Sharpedo, Glacia got out-tanked, and Drake's dragons were frozen solid by Starmie's Ice Beam. Then came Wallace, the champion, the Water-type master. It's basically a mirror match, but the Deep, our Whiscash, proved stronger than his, and just like that, we'd done it. The fishing-only team had become champions of Hoenn. Not bad for a group that started out with nothing but Splash. But I wasn't done yet. There were still a few loose ends to tie up, and one final test waiting in the shadows. First, I boarded the SS title to grab the leftovers, because after everything we've been through, my fish deserve a snack. Then, I went back to the Weather Institute for one final catch. Feebas. If you've ever hunted Feebas, you know, it's one of the most annoying Pokemon to find in the entire series. Random water tiles, random pain. After a while with no luck, I decided to test my strength against Steven, the true final boss of Emerald. His team was pushing level 80, mine wasn't. Yeah, it went about how you'd expect, but hey, it felt possible. Feeling humbled, I went back to the Feebas hunt, and this time, I found it almost instantly. The one fish I thought I'd never catch. I started grinding to take another shot at Steven, but then, tragedy. The stream crashed. So I decided that I would finish prep off stream and save the finale for another day. After the stream crashed, I wasn't ready to quit. I spent about an hour grinding, burned through the last of our rare candies, and figured we might as well take one more shot at Steven. We were still way underleveled, but I knew I could do it. And after about a dozen attempts, this happened. We got a few lucky hits in, but one by one, my team fell. By the end, I didn't have much hope left, but then Wailord, my giant balloon of hope, landed the final surf. Against all odds, we'd done it. The entire run, from Magikarp's first splash to Wailord's final wave, came full circle. So, can you beat Pokémon Emerald using only fishing? Technically, no. The game forces a cast form on you, but spiritually, absolutely. We started with a Magikarp that could only splash, and ended with a Wailord that took down Steven. This was my first full-length video, and I had an absolute blast making it. If you enjoyed the run, or just like seeing a grown man suffer in increasingly creative ways, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and letting me know in the comments what challenge you'd like to see next. Oh, and there was one species of Pokemon I could have fished up, but I didn't. Think you know what it is? Drop your guesses down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your line steady and your luck high.